Hey crystal lovers, Ashley Levy here with the Love and Light School of Crystal Therapy, and in this video I'm going to talk all about storing your healing crystals. So I get questions about this all the time, and people are wondering, what's the best way to store my crystals? Because there are so many differing opinions on this. I've seen books that list really specific things, like your crystals should only be stored in a black silk pouch, and that's it, because silk has a really high vibrational frequency to it. But you know what if you're vegan? You don't want to use silk. What if you don't really want that conductive energy around your crystals? So here's some different kind of schools of thought. For the sources out there that say that you should store your crystals only in natural materials like silk, wood, cotton, things like that, I get it, right? Natural materials have good vibes. That's why we surround ourselves with more natural materials and eat natural foods and things like that. They make us feel better. But they are highly conductive of energy. And when it comes to storing your crystals, you have to ask yourself, is that something you really want? Because most of the time when you're storing your crystals, it's to keep their vibes cleansed and cleared between uses. So if you store them in a material that's really conductive, like wood or silk or cotton, then the energy is moving pretty freely through that material. Alternatively, if you think about it like this, what would actually prevent or create a barrier around your crystals to keep energy from moving in and out? Well, something like plastic would actually do that. I know that it sounds crazy to suggest storing your crystals in plastic because it's kind of a dead, gross, weird material, right? But if the whole idea is to keep your crystals cleansed, to keep their energy separate from outside energies, then nothing will quite do it like plastic. Plastic, in and of itself, is just so dense and so devoid of any energy, right? So if you can keep your crystals in a plastic container, a plastic box, those little plastic bead boxes with the compartments in them work great for this, and this is what I use. It actually keeps those crystals kind of contained. Now, I always recommend cleansing your crystals before and after each use. So whether you want to use something like plastic or you want to use a natural material is totally up to you. As long as you're working with your crystals in a way where you're being really responsible and cleansing them before and after you use them, you shouldn't have any problems at all. Now, this brings us to kind of the last few questions I get about this, which are, well, what if I just want to store my crystal out in the open on a shelf or on my altar? Can I do that? Of course. You want to cleanse that crystal periodically as well. If it's a crystal that's just in your space, you're not actively working with it, it's okay to actually cleanse that crystal maybe as little as once a month, maybe as much as once a week. It really depends on where that crystal is, what kind of energy is exposed to, and what's going on in your life. For example, if you have a crystal out in the open in your office, where you have some negative coworkers and there's kind of always chaotic energies flying around, you might want to cleanse that thing a few times a week. But if it's in your home, somewhere maybe where your family spends a lot of time together, there's lots of loving energy, maybe you don't need to cleanse it as often. Maybe once a week, maybe once a month. It's really up to you. But if you're going to be actively using that crystal for healing work or meditation, distance healing, anything like that, you do want to cleanse it before and after each use. So really, your storing practices and your cleansing practices are pretty closely intertwined. Now, the final question I get about this is, can I store lots of crystals together? Say you have a beautiful hand-carved wooden bowl on your coffee table full of different crystals, and that's how you'd like to store them. Is that okay? Absolutely. All the crystals are here on Earth together. They're here in this universe together. And there's really no true difference in time or space having lots of crystals mixed up in a bowl on your coffee table versus here on the Earth, as long as you have a set intention for them. So if you're trying to actively use your crystals for something, then you may not want to have 20 or 30 crystals all jumbled up together, right? You might want to just use the few that you're really using with focused intention for healing work or for meditation. But if this is just simply the way that you're storing them in a big bowl, that's okay. Again, just make sure to cleanse them regularly and you'll be in good shape. I hope you found that really helpful. Again, this is Ashley Lavey at the Love and Light School of Crystal Therapy. Until next time, crystal blessings.